Morning, Damien. You look like you've had enough coffee to power the whole building. How are you?
I'm good, Carla. Just looking at the book. I see I have 6 people today. Going to be a busy one.
6 is a full house. I'm just checking my own schedule. First things first, though, I'm heading back to check my intake forms.
I usually just glance at those when the client walks in. Is it that big a deal?
It's a huge deal. You need to see their health history before you start. And speaking of paperwork, make sure they signed an informed consent form before they even get on the table.
Why do they need that? They booked the appointment, isn't that consent enough?
Nope. Legally, they have to give you formal consent for the specific service. They need to know the risks, benefits, and their right to refuse or stop the session at any time. It's about client autonomy.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'd want to know what I'm signing up for, too. Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. Now, did you set your room up first? I walked by and saw your door open.
I'll get to it. Why the rush? It's just a room.
Damien, you know the drill. You have the room with the standard table today, not the hydraulics. You have to set that height manually.
Guess I better get on it. I've been having a lot of issues with my body mechanics lately. My lower back is killing me by 2 p.m.
That's because your table is likely too high. Remember, stand next to it, your fists should just graze the top. If you don't use your pelvis and core, you won't last through all 6 clients.
MBLEx concepts covered in this chat. Informed consent must include risks, benefits, and right to refuse. Intake forms, necessary for screening contraindications before the session. Table height, proper ergonomics to prevent therapist injury, standard versus hydraulic. Body mechanics, the importance of using the core/pelvis and correct table height.
Damien, before your first client gets here, I noticed you were wearing your watch and the big class ring. You might want to tuck those in your locker.
But they're my signature look, Carla. Is a little jewelry really going to matter?
It matters to the MBLEx and your client's skin. Jewelry can harbor pathogens even after you wash your hands, and you don't want to accidentally scratch someone during a petricide stroke. It's a safety and hygiene thing.
Good point. I'll go put them away. I'm also going to grab some of that clean-smelling spray for the face cradle.
Wait, check the label. Is it just a sanitizer or a disinfectant? Sanitizing just reduces the bacteria, but for a massage table, you need a hospital-grade disinfectant to actually kill the pathogens.
Got it. Oh, hey. My first client just walked in. It's actually my neighbor, Mike. I didn't know he was coming in.
Hold on, Damien. That's a dual relationship. You know Mike personally, and now you're his therapist. You have to be extra careful about professional boundaries.
It's fine. He's a cool guy. I'll probably tell him about that funny thing that happened at the block party while I'm working.
Actually, you shouldn't. You need to maintain confidentiality. Even if he's your neighbor, what happens in this room stays in this room. And remember, if he starts talking about his medical issues, you can't go sharing that with the other neighbors. That's a huge HIPAA violation.
Man, there's a lot to remember. I guess I'll just stick to the professional version of Damien today.
That's the Damien that passes the exam. Now, go wash your hands, and make sure it's for at least 15 to 20 seconds with warm water.
MBLEx concepts covered in this chat. Hygiene, jewelry. Jewelry must be removed to prevent scratching and harboring pathogens. Sanitization versus disinfection. Disinfection is required for surfaces to kill most pathogens. Dual relationships. When a personal relationship overlaps with a professional one. Requires clear boundaries. HIPAA/confidentiality. Patient privacy must be maintained regardless of personal acquaintance. Hand washing. The primary defense against pathogen transmission must be done for 15-20 seconds.
How did it go with Mike, Damien? Did you survive the neighbor dynamic?
It was actually great. But man, my hands are tired. I'm just going to sit here for a second before I tackle these soap notes.
Don't wait too long. Accuracy drops the longer you wait to document. Where are you starting?
The subjective part. I'm writing down that he has a big bruise on his right calf, and his shoulder looked higher on one side.
Wait, stop. If you saw the bruise and measured the shoulder height, that's not subjective. That's objective.
Really? I thought it was all the same.
Nope. Subjective is what the client tells you, like his pain level or how he felt after his last run. Objective is what you observe with your eyes and hands, like postural deviations or limited range of motion.
Got it. I'll swap those. Oh, one more thing. Mike tried to give me a $50 gift card to that new steakhouse as a thank you on top of his tip. He said neighbors look out for each other.
That's a tricky one, Damien. Accepting large gifts can blur the lines of the power differential and create a boundary crossing.
Even a gift card? It's just dinner.
The MBLEx considers it a breach of professional ethics. It can make the client feel like they have special status or influence over you. In a professional relationship, the payment for the service is the only financial exchange you should have.
I guess that makes sense. I don't want him thinking he can skip the intake process next time just because he bought me a steak.
Exactly. You are the professional, not just the neighbor. Now, finish that plan section. What are you doing for him next time?
MBLEx concepts covered in this chat. Soap notes, subjective, client-reported data, pain, goals, history. Soap notes, objective, therapist-observed data, bruising, posture, palpation. Professional boundaries, avoiding the acceptance of significant gifts to maintain a professional distance. Power differential, the inherent imbalance of power where the client is vulnerable and the therapist is the authority. Documentation timing, the importance of recording findings immediately to ensure clinical accuracy. Hey Carla, my 2 p.m. just got here. Her name is Sarah, and she says her doctor told her she has carpal tunnel syndrome, but she wants me to double-check the diagnosis.
Whoa, back up the bus, Sam. What did you tell her?
I told her I'd do some orthopedic tests and let her know if the doctor was right. I mean, I know my anatomy.
Damien, that is a massive scope of practice violation. As massage therapists, we assess, we do not diagnose. Even if you're 100% sure it's carpal tunnel, you cannot legally tell a client, yes, you have this medical condition.
Wait, really? But I'm trying to be helpful.
The MBLEx is very strict on this. If you confirm a diagnosis, you are practicing medicine without a license. You can tell her, I find some tension in the flexors that matches what you're feeling, but you always refer back to the medical professional for the diagnosis.
Okay, glad I asked. She also asked if she should start taking vitamin B6 and ibuprofen for the inflammation. I read online that helps.
Damien, stop. Suggesting supplements or medication is prescribing. That's another huge no for our scope. You can suggest a cold compress or some gentle stretching, but for pills? Tell her to talk to her pharmacist or doctor.
Got it. I'll stay in my lane. One more thing, she's 6 months pregnant. Do I need to change anything?
Absolutely. First, check her intake form for any high-risk complications like preeclampsia. If she's healthy, remember your positioning. No lying flat on the back, supine, for too long because of supine hypotension syndrome.
Right, because the weight can compress the vena cava, right?
Glad you know something. I was beginning to worry. Spot on. Use the sideline position and plenty of pillows. Safety first, massage second.
MBLEx concepts covered in this chat. Scope of practice, diagnosis. Massage therapists assess soft tissue, but never diagnose medical conditions. Scope of practice, prescribing. Therapists cannot recommend medications or supplements. Referrals. When a client's needs fall outside our scope, we must refer to a qualified medical professional. Prenatal safety. Side lying is the safest position. Avoid a supine position to prevent vena cava compression. High-risk indicators. Always screen for conditions like preeclampsia, high blood pressure and pregnancy, as it can be a contraindication. Woo. Betty, I thought the day was over, but my last client, Mr. Henderson, spent the first 10 minutes complaining about everything, the music, the temperature, and even the way I draped him.
Those are the communication questions the MBLEx loves. How did you handle it? Did you tell him he was being difficult?
I wanted to, but I remembered what you said about being professional. I tried to just ignore it and keep working, but he just got louder.
Ignoring it is the worst move. You should have used reflective listening. It's a key part of the guidelines section.
Is that like a mirror? Do I just repeat everything he says back to him?
Exactly. If he says, "The room is too cold," you say, "I hear that you are feeling cold. Let me adjust the thermostat or add a blanket." It shows the client you've actually received their message. It's also called active listening.
That's not what I wanted to tell him. Okay, so validate the feeling first. That makes sense. What if he asks for a technique I've never done? He wanted some advanced Thai stretching, but I only know Swedish and deep tissue.
That's another scope of practice test. You must tell him you aren't trained in that. Performing a technique you aren't certified in is a competency issue. If you heard him doing something you don't know, your professional liability insurance might not even cover you.
Man, I'm glad I didn't try doing it. I told him we'd stick to what's in my scope today. He wasn't thrilled, but he settled down. Look at you, knowing this stuff.
Good job, Sam. You protected the client and your license. Now, since it's the end of the day, what are you doing with those used linens? This my second language, so I studied day and night and twice on Saturday.
You mean twice on Sunday?
No. I had to get my dance on, Sunday.
I'm just going to leave those sheets in the basket for the morning crew.
Nope. Universal precautions, Sam. All linens should be handled as if they are contaminated. They need to be moved to the laundry and washed in hot water with detergent and dried on high heat to kill any lingering pathogens. Anyway, that is nasty.
I'm just playing, got it. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this professionalism thing. MBLEx concepts covered in this chat. Reflective/active listening. Paraphrasing the client's words to ensure clear communication and validation. Professional competency, only performing techniques for which you have received proper training and certification. Professional liability, the risk of performing outside your training and the legal consequences of injury. Universal precautions/laundry, handling all linens as potentially infectious. Washing in hot water to ensure safety. Conflict resolution, using communication to de-escalate the client's dissatisfaction.
Morning, Jack. Why the long face? You look like you're doing your math homework.
I am. I'm trying to figure out my paycheck. Since I'm an independent contractor here, I thought I'd have more money, but I have to set so much aside for taxes.
Welcome to being a 1099. Remember, the job doesn't pay your Social Security or Medicare taxes. You're responsible for the full self-employment tax.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I'm thinking of changing my business setup. Right now I'm just a sole proprietor, but my brother told me I should look into an LLC.
That's a smart move for the exam, too. A sole proprietorship is the easiest to start, but you have personal liability. An LLC, limited liability company, protects your personal assets, like your car or house, if the business gets sued or goes into debt.
That sounds way safer. What about a partnership? My friend and I wanted to open a clinic together.
Partnerships are great for sharing the workload, but you also share the liability for each other's mistakes. The MBLEx wants you to know that regardless of the structure, you still need your own professional liability insurance.
Got it. One more thing, I'm moving to a new apartment next month. Do I have to tell the board?
Absolutely. Most state laws require you to notify the Board of Massage of a change of address within 30 days. If you don't, you could be fined or have issues renewing your license.
30 days. I'll put a sticky note on my moving boxes. Hey Eve, I have a client asking why massage actually works. He wants the science behind the benefits.
That's the benefits and physiological effects section. What did you tell him?
I told him it moves toxins out of his body.
Careful, Jack. The MBLEx doesn't like the word toxins. We talk about increasing local circulation and assisting the lymphatic system in moving metabolic waste. Does he want to know about the nervous system?
Yeah, he says he feels less stressed but doesn't know why.
Tell him he's moving from the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, into the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. It lowers his cortisol levels and can increase his serotonin and dopamine.
Oh, and it helps with his muscle pain because of the gate control theory, right?
Exactly. By stimulating the large nerve fibers with touch, we close the gate on the smaller pain fibers going to the brain. It's a mechanical effect of the massage.
This section covered areas and guidelines, benefits of massage, ethics and business.